Yeah, Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit, with this book, Hosea, let's go. The word of our Father in heaven that came to Hosea, son of Bariah, in the regions, in the reigns of kings, Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah of Judah, and in the reign of King Jeroboam, son of Joash of Israel. When our Father in heaven first spoke to Hosea, our Father in heaven said to Hosea, go get yourself a wife of whoredom, and children of the whoredom, for the land will stray from following our Father in heaven. So he went and married Gomorrah, daughter of the Blaim. She conceived and bore him a son. And our Father in heaven instructed him, named him Jezreel, for I will soon punish the house of Jehu for the bloody deeds at Jezreel, and put an end to that monarchy of the house of Israel. And that day I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. She conceived again and bore a daughter, and he said to him, name her Lo Ruhamah, for I will no longer accept the house of Israel. For I will no longer accept the house of Israel for pardon them, but I will accept the house of Jehudah, and I will give them victory through our Father in heaven, their Elohim. I will not give them victory with bow and sword in battle, by horses and riders. After winning Lo Ruhamah, she conceived and bore a son. Then he said, name him Lo Ami, for you are not my people, and I will not be your Elohim. The number of the people of Israel shall be like that of the sands of the sea, which cannot be measured or counted. And instead of being told, you are not my people, they shall be called children of the living Elohim. The people of Jehudah and the people of Israel shall assemble together and appoint one head over them, and they shall rise from the ground. For marvelous shall be the day of Jezreel. O call your brothers my people, and your sisters lovingly accept the rebuke your mother, rebuke her, for she is not my wife, and I am not her husband. And let her put away her harlotry from her face, and her idolatry from between her breasts. As will I strip her naked and leave her as one on the day she was born, and I will make her like a wilderness, render her like desert land, and let her die of thirst. I will also disown her children, for they are now heartless blood, and that their mother has played the harlot. She that conceived them has acted shamelessly, because she thought, I will go after my lovers who supply my bread, and my water, and my wool, and my linen, my oil, and my drink. And surely I will hedge up her roads with thorns, and raise walls against her, and she shall not find her paths, pursue her lovers as she will. She shall not overtake them and seek them as she may. She shall never find them. Then she will say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then I fared better than now, and she did not consider this. It was I who bestowed on her the new grain and wine and oil, I who lavished silver on her, and gold which they used for Baal. Surely I will take back my new grain in its time, and my new wine in its season, and I will snatch away my wool and my linen that served to cover her nakedness, and I will uncover her shame in the very sight of her lovers, and I shall save her from me, and I will end all her rejoicing, her festivals, new moons, and Sabbaths, all her festive seasons. I will lay waste her vines and her fig trees, which she thinks are her fee. She received from her lovers, I will turn them into brushwood, and beasts of the field shall devour them. Thus will I punish her for the days of the Balaam, on which she brought them offerings, when decked with earrings and jewels. She will go after her lovers, forgetting me, declares our Father in heaven. Assuredly I will speak coaxingly to her, and lead her through the wilderness, and speak to her tenderly. I will give her her vineyards from there, in the valley of Achor, as a plowland of hope. There she shall respond as in the days of her youth, when she came up from the land of Egypt. And in that day, declares our Father in heaven, you will call me Ish. Both Ish and Beli mean my husband, but the latter also means my Baal. You will call me Ish, and in that day, declares our Father in heaven, you will call me my husband, and no more will you call me. So he's saying, and no more will you call me Baal. Wow. For I will remove the names of the Balaam from her mouth, and they shall never more be mentioned by name. And that day I will make a covenant for them. So think about how blasphemous the devil is, because he said, and no more will you call me Baal. But then they say, Lord is Baal. Wow. So look how blasphemous the guy is. And no more will you call me Baal, for I will remove the names of the Balaam from her mouth, and they shall never more be mentioned by her name. And that day I will make a covenant for them with the beasts of the fields. But the ones that are coming out of her are understanding that. Wow. And that day I will make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and the creeping things of the ground. I will also banish bow, sword, and war from the land. Thus I will let them lie down in safety, and I will espouse you forever. I will espouse you with righteousness and justice, and with goodness and mercy. And I will espouse you with faithfulness. Then you shall be devoted to our Father in heaven. And that day I will respond, declares our Father in heaven. I will respond to the sky, and they shall respond to the earth, and the earth shall respond with new grain and wine and oil, and they shall respond to Jezreel. I will sow her in the land as my own, and take Lo Ruhamah back in favor. And I will say to Lo Amai, you are my people, and he will respond, you are my Elohim. Our Father in heaven said to me further, go befriend a woman who while befriended by a companion, consorts with others, just as our Father in heaven befriends the Israelites, but they turn to other gods and love the cups of the grape. Then I hired her for 15 shekels of silver and homer of barley, and a lethek of barley, and I stipulated with her, in return you are to go a long time without either fornicating or marrying. Even I shall not cohabit with you, for the Israelites shall go a long time without king and without officials, without sacrifice and without cold pillars, and without ephod and teraphim. Afterward the Israelites will turn back and will seek our Father in heaven, the Elohim, and thou with their king, and they will thrill over our Father in heaven and over his treasure in the days to come. Amen. So may our Father and the Son and the Spirit with us. Pray you all are well. And if you're looking at this, I love you. Any other true brother or sister, I love you as well. May Father and the Son and the Spirit with us. Be safe, continue to be righteous. Go and sin no more. Amen.